All right, so you want to understand this whole GPT-4 thing better, huh? Well, we've got a ton of research here, including the official report, and luckily we've got our expert here to help us break it all down.
Definitely a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I think you really want to wrap your head around like what GPT-4 can actually do and why everyone's making such a fuss about it.
It is a pretty big deal, yeah.
So where do we even begin with this?
Well, I guess the first thing to get is that unlike, say, GPT 3.5, GPT-4 is what we call a multimodal model.
Okay, multimodal. Now, in English, what does that mean for us non-techie folks?
Basically, it means GPT-4 can process images and text, not just text alone, as input.
So it's not just reading, it's actually like understanding images. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it is, and it generates these really complex text outputs based on what it's processing.
Okay, so give me an example. What can it do with these images?
Well, the report has examples of GPT-4 analyzing charts, describing images in detail, even explaining memes. There's this one where it explains a meme. It's a world map made entirely of chicken nuggets.
A chicken nugget map. See, now you've got my attention. So we're not just talking about some fancy image recognition software here.
Right. It's actually understanding the meaning behind the images.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
And it goes way beyond just, understanding memes. They had GPT-4 take a bunch of standardized tests, like the SAT, the GRE, even the bar exam, the one lawyers have to take.
Oh, whoa, hold on. They had an AI taking tests meant for humans.
Yeah.
How'd it do? Please tell me it at least bombed the math section.
Actually, it didn't just pass, it scored in like the 90th percentile, sometimes even higher on a lot of these tests. For example, on the bar exam, it was in the top 10%.
Top 10%? Seriously? I mean, that's kind of amazing and honestly a bit freaky. What does that even mean for, like, the future of lawyers?
It definitely makes you think about what intelligence really is, right? And it's not just tests. This thing can code, too.
Okay, so it passes human exams, and it can code.
Uh-huh. The researchers even got it to find security flaws in code samples.
All right, that's both super impressive and a little scary. So tell me, it can't be perfect, right? What are its limits?
Well, no AI is perfect. The report does point out some limitations.
Okay, good, because I was starting to get worried there. So spill the beans. What are its weaknesses?
One thing is what researchers call hallucinations.
Hallucinations. Okay, so what does that mean in the AI world?
It's kind of like when a person gets their facts mixed up, but GPT-4 can do it with total confidence.
So it's not perfect. Got it. That's slightly comforting, I guess. Anything else?
Another big one is its knowledge cutoff. Basically, it only knows up to a certain point in time based on the data it was trained on.
So it's like super smart, but hasn't read the news lately.
Kinda, yeah. Anything after its cutoff day, it's in the dark about.
That makes sense. But there was something in the report about safety measures, right?
Yeah, OpenAI's put in place a bunch of safety measures, including something called RLHF.
RLHF. Now, what in the world is that?
It stands for Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback.
Okay, and what does that mean in plain English?
Basically, they're training GPT-4 to know when a request is bad and to refuse it. Like if someone asks it to, write something hateful.
So just say, nope, not doing that.
Pretty much. The report actually shows specific bad prompts and how GPT-4 shuts them down.
So they're basically teaching it right from wrong. Wow, that's a whole other can of worms, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we've only scratched the surface here.
No kidding. This is getting pretty deep pretty fast. We've covered a lot, but I feel like we're just getting started.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot more to explore here.
Where?
There is, definitely. So much more.
I mean, this whole RLHF thing, teaching GPT-4 to be, like, ethical, that's got to be crazy complicated, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. Imagine trying to teach a kid right from wrong. It's a constant process.
Yeah.
That's basically what OpenAI is doing with RLHF, but on this huge scale with a digital brain.
So they're like giving this AI a moral compass. That's a pretty heavy responsibility. But can we be sure it won't, like, find ways to get around those safety measures?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? And the report's actually pretty upfront about the fact that there are no guarantees. Any new technology, especially one this powerful, has the potential for, unintended consequences.
I guess that old saying about great power, great responsibility applies here, huh?
Totally.
It sounds like OpenAI is taking that seriously, though. So what kind of risks are they trying to, like, prevent?
Well, one big one is misuse. Think about it. If GPT-4 can write like a human, someone could use it to create, like, super convincing fake news or spam emails, even deepfakes.
Okay, yeah, that's not good. It'd be like giving, like, a bad guy a superpowered printing press for lies.
Exactly.
But couldn't that same power be used for good?
Yeah.
Like, could GPT-4 help us, I don't know, fight misinformation, maybe even help us verify if stuff online is real or fake?
Oh, absolutely. That's the exciting part. It could be this powerful tool for both creating and detecting stuff. It's like a double-edged sword. Depends who's using it, right?
Yeah. So it all boils down to, like, human intention and what kind of ethical rules we build around this tech. It's almost a philosophical question as much as a technical one.
You got it. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations now, while it's still early days. We got to think ahead about the problems and figure out responsible ways to use it.
The report also talks about over-reliance. What's that all about, and why should we be worried about it?
So over-reliance is when we get, like, too dependent on AI systems like GPT-4.
Okay.
It's like, think about relying on GPS so much you forget how to read a map yourself. You lose your own sense of direction. That's kind of what could happen if we let AI do all our thinking for us.
So it's not just about bad guys misusing it. It's about us, as people, becoming too reliant on it, like losing our own ability to think critically.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance. AI should help us, not replace us. We've got to keep our ability to think for ourselves, to question things, be creative.
It's like anything else. Moderation is key, right? Use it responsibly. Don't let it become a crutch.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some amazing upside to all this too, right?
Mhm.
I mean, beyond just chicken nugget maps.
Oh, tons. Think about education. GPT-4 could be used to personalize learning, like tailoring lessons to how each student learns best.
Wow, that'd be incredible. It'd be like having a personal tutor for every student. But wouldn't that be super expensive? And what about teachers? Would they, like, be out of a job?
Those are great questions. The idea wouldn't be to replace teachers, but to give them these powerful tools to be even better.
Right.
And AI is getting more affordable all the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's about using tech to help humans do things better, not to get rid of humans altogether.
Right.
What about other areas? Like, what could GPT-4 do in healthcare or scientific research?
The possibilities are, like, endless.
Yeah.
In healthcare, imagine AI helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately. In research, it could help scientists analyze tons of data, find patterns, make breakthroughs faster.
Wow. It sounds like we're on the edge of a total tech revolution, and GPT-4 is right at the front of it all.
I think that's a pretty good way to put it.
It's exciting, but also, honestly, a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I get it. It's this incredibly powerful tool that can do so much good, but we got to be careful, be smart about it.
So what's next? What are the big things we need to be thinking about as GPT-4 and AI in general keeps evolving?
I think ethical governance is huge. We need rules, regulations for how AI is developed and used. And we need to make sure the data it's trained on isn't biased, that it's fair.
So it's like we're building the foundation for a whole new society, one where humans and AI live and work together.
Exactly.
That's a big responsibility, but also an amazing opportunity to, make the future better.
I couldn't agree more. This is a turning point in human history, and it's up to all of us to make sure we use AI wisely for the good of everyone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into GPT-4, like, what are the big takeaways? What are the real-world impacts of this thing?
Well, I think the biggest thing is remembering that GPT-4 and AI overall are tools. And like any tool, you can use it for good or bad.
So it really comes down to us, the humans, to make sure it's used the right way.
Exactly. We have the responsibility to make sure AI is used ethically, that its benefits are shared with everyone.
And the report actually has some pretty interesting examples of how GPT-4 could be used in the real world, both good and bad.
Yeah, definitely. One that really sticks out is using GPT-4 in education. They tested it giving feedback on the student essays, and the results were pretty amazing.
Really? Like, how so?
Well, it wasn't just basic stuff like grammar and spelling. It could actually analyze what the essays were saying, figure out where they could be improved, even suggest specific changes.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like a virtual writing tutor or something?
Pretty much.
But couldn't that also be, a problem? Like, what if students just rely on the AI too much and never learn to think for themselves?
That's a good point, and it goes back to what we were saying before about making sure AI helps us, not replaces us.
Yeah, finding that balance, using tech to make us better, not make us dependent on it.
Right. Another area where GPT-4 could have a big impact is cybersecurity.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, the report does say it could be used by, bad actors to make cyber attacks even more sophisticated.
Yikes. That's a little scary, isn't it? Like giving hackers a new weapon.
Yeah, but here's the thing. GPT-4 could also be used to make our defenses stronger, too.
Oh, okay, so it cuts both ways.
Exactly. It could help us find vulnerabilities, predict attacks before they happen, build stronger security systems.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Could make us more vulnerable, but also it could make us more secure.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be talking about this stuff, to be aware of both the good and the bad possibilities.
It sounds like the big takeaway here is that GPT-4 and AI as a whole is this powerful new tool, and it's up to us to use it wisely.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're all creating right now.
And as we move forward, we got to remember, AI isn't meant to replace human intelligence, creativity, or compassion. It's there to help us be even better.
Couldn't agree more. The key is to approach AI with responsibility, curiosity, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into GPT-4. Thanks for sharing your expertise with us.
My pleasure. Anytime.
And to our listener, thanks for joining us on this exploration of GPT-4. We hope you've gotten a better grasp of this incredible technology and how it could change the world.
And remember, this isn't the end of the conversation. Keep learning, stay informed, keep those questions coming.
And for those who want to dig deeper, we've got links to all the research in the show notes. Be sure to check those out. Thanks for listening.